Kang Ta-1 stared at the holographic displays aboard the cloaked research vessel, Silent Wind, his four eyes blinking in rapid succession as he processed the latest data from Earth. As the lead sinoanthropologist for the Galactic Council's Earth Observation Division, he had spent the last 30 Earth years studying this peculiar species. "Director Kang, you need to see this," called out his assistant, Li Jinna, her silvery skin reflecting the soft blue light of the command center. "The humans have done it again. They've compressed 1,000 years of expected technological advancement into just 5 years." Tai-1 moved to her station, his tall frame casting a shadow over the display. The readings were unmistakable. Humans had just developed quantum neural networks, a technology that had taken his own species nearly a millennium to perfect. He rubbed his secondary eyes, a habit he had developed when stressed. The observation post had been monitoring Earth since humans first discovered electricity, and with each passing year, their progress became more alarming. What made it worse was that humans seemed completely unaware of how unusual their rate of advancement was. "Show me the comparison charts," he ordered, and Jinna quickly pulled up a holographic display showing technological progress across different civilizations. The normal pattern showed steady, predictable growth over thousands of years, but Earth's line shot upward at an almost vertical angle. "Look at this spike in the last decade," Jinna pointed out, her finger tracing the sharp increase. "They went from basic neural networks to quantum computing in less than 10 years. It took the Centauri over 500 years to make that jump." Tai-1 walked to the observation window, looking down at the blue planet below. From up here, Earth looked peaceful, even primitive compared to the advanced worlds he had visited. But appearances were deceiving. The ship's AI announced the arrival of their daily report from the surface agents. Hundreds of disguised probes across Earth gathered data on human activities, carefully hidden to avoid detection. Each day brought new surprises, and today was no different. "They're already improving on the basic quantum network design," Jinna said, scrolling through the data. "They're not just using it. They're making it better. How is this possible?" Tai-1 had a theory, but it worried him. In all his years of studying alien species, he had never seen anything like humans. Other species followed logical progression paths, building one discovery upon another in an orderly fashion. Humans, though, seemed to jump around randomly, making connections that shouldn't be possible. "Pull up the neural pattern analysis," he requested. The display shifted to show brain wave patterns from various human test subjects. The chaos of human thought processes still amazed him. Where other species showed organized, linear thinking patterns, human brains lit up like festival lights, making seemingly impossible connections. A soft alarm chimed, indicating movement from one of their observation zones. Jinna quickly brought up the feed from a research facility in what humans called Switzerland. Scientists there were already testing modifications to the quantum network, innovations that hadn't occurred to any other species. "They're using chaos theory to enhance the quantum entanglement," Jinna said, her voice filled with disbelief. That's brilliant. Why didn't we think of that?" Tai-1 knew why. His species, like most in the galaxy, thought in logical, sequential steps. Humans thought in leaps and bounds, embracing chaos and uncertainty in ways that defied conventional understanding. The ship's sensors picked up another surge of activity, this time from a lab in Japan. Tai-1 watched as human scientists essentially rewrote the rules of quantum mechanics, not because they knew it was impossible, but because no one had told them it was. "Send a priority message to the Council," he decided. "Mark it urgent. They need to know that our timeline estimates were wrong. At this rate, humans won't take centuries to reach our level of technology. They'll do it in decades." Jinna began preparing the message while Tai-1 continued to study the data streams. He noticed something that made his heart skip a beat. The humans were starting to detect quantum fluctuations from their cloaking technology. They weren't actively looking for alien ships, but their instruments were becoming sensitive enough to accidentally find them. "Add a note to the message," he told Jinnah. Recommend upgrading our cloaking systems immediately. The humans are getting too close. As he watched the Earth rotate slowly below them, Taiwan couldn't shake the feeling that they were watching something unprecedented. Humans weren't just advancing. They were evolving at a pace that defied all known laws of development. Their chaos was their strength, their unpredictability their greatest asset. Director Jinnah called out softly, "What do you think will happen when they finally reach the stars?" Taiwan had asked himself that question many times over the years. The answer always frightened him. When humans reach the stars, he said slowly, everything will change. They won't just join galactic civilization. They'll revolutionize it. That's why we hide. That's why we watch. We're not studying them to understand them. We're studying them to prepare for them. The lights of Earth's cities began to twinkle as the planet moved into its night cycle. Soon, those lights would reach beyond their world, and when they did, the galaxy would never be the same again. The research team gathered in the main conference room of the Silent Wind, their usual chatter absent as Jinnah prepared to present her findings. The holographic projector hummed to life, casting an eerie blue glow across their alien features. There's something different about their neural architecture, Jinnah explained during the research team's weekly briefing. The room fell silent as she projected a comparative analysis of human brain activity against other known sentient species. Kim Do-hee, the team's neurobiologist, leaned forward. Their failure response patterns, they're unlike anything we've ever seen. When humans fail, their neural pathways don't just record the failure. They create thousands of alternative solutions simultaneously. It's as if they're engineered to learn from failure. Taiwan mused, but that's impossible. No species evolves this way naturally. The data streams flowing across the display showed human brain activity compared to 20 other advanced species. Where other species showed clear, orderly patterns of neural response, human brains looked like fireworks displays, bursting with activity in seemingly random patterns. Look at this case study, Do-hee continued, pulling up footage from their Earth observations. This human child is attempting to solve a simple puzzle. Watch what happens when they fail. The team observed as the child's brain lit up with activity. Unlike other species, where failure triggered a stress response and a decrease in neural activity, the human child's brain exploded with alternatives, each failure spawning dozens of new approaches. They don't just learn from their mistakes, Jinnah added, zooming in on the neural pattern analysis. They seem to thrive on them. Each failure makes them more determined, more creative. It's like their brains are programmed to turn setbacks into opportunities. Taiwan walked around the holographic display, his 4 eyes focusing on different aspects of the data simultaneously. Show me the comparison with the Arcturus learning trials. The display split, showing an Arcturian child attempting a similar puzzle. When the Arcturian failed, its brain showed a clear logical progression through alternative solutions, testing each one methodically. The human child's brain, in contrast, seemed to test multiple solutions at once, creating new combinations and possibilities with each attempt. Their neural plasticity is off the charts, Do-hee noted, bringing up another set of readings. Most species' brains become more rigid with age, following established patterns. Human brains stay flexible, constantly forming new connections. They can completely rewire their thinking patterns well into their elder years. The implications were staggering. Every species in the known galaxy followed predictable patterns of development, their brains evolving to find the most efficient, logical paths to solutions. Humans seem to have evolved to embrace chaos itself, turning unpredictability into an advantage. There's more, Jinnah said, her voice trembling slightly. We've detected something unusual in their genetic structure. It's as if their DNA itself is designed to adapt rapidly to new challenges. She brought up a molecular analysis of human genetic material. The team watched in amazement as the display showed how human genes responded to stress and failure. Instead of breaking down, they seemed to become more resilient, more adaptable. This shouldn't be possible. One of the junior researchers whispered, "Evolution doesn't work this way. Species are supposed to find stable patterns and stick to them." Taiwan studied the data carefully. His many years of experience told him they were looking at something unprecedented. "Run a simulation," he ordered. "Show me what happens if we extrapolate this pattern forward 1,000 years. The AI processed the request, and the holographic display transformed into a prediction model. The results made several team members step back in alarm. The simulation showed humans not just advancing, but accelerating their rate of advancement with each passing generation. "The implications are clear," Doohy said, breaking the stunned silence. "They're not just another emerging species. They're something entirely new. Each challenge we present them with, each obstacle they face, will only make them stronger." Jinnah pulled up historical data from Earth. "Look at their pattern of technological development. Every major setback, wars, disasters, plagues, they emerge stronger, more advanced. They don't just recover, they leap forward." Taiwan felt a chill run through his body. This is why the Council ordered non-interference, he realized. Contact with advanced civilizations wouldn't slow them down. It would accelerate their development even faster. The team looked at their leader, understanding dawning in their eyes. They weren't hiding from humans to protect them. They were hiding because every interaction with humans risked making them even more formidable. "Update all observation protocols," Taiwan ordered. "We need to be more careful than ever. If they detect us, if they get even a glimpse of our technology." He didn't need to finish the thought. They all understood now. Humans weren't just another species to study. They were potentially the most dangerous force the galaxy had ever seen, not because they were hostile, but because they were unstoppable learners. As the briefing ended, Taiwan remained behind, watching the Earth through the observation window. Somewhere down there, billions of humans were failing, learning, and growing stronger with every mistake. The galaxy wasn't ready for them, but ready or not, they were coming. In the dimly lit archives section of the Silent Wind, Park Sun-mai sat surrounded by holographic displays, her eyes scanning through thousands of years of human history. Her job as historical data analyst usually involved quiet, methodical work, but what she found made her heart race. "Director, look at these patterns," she said, pulling up a timeline of human history as Taiwan entered the room. Every major catastrophe, their world wars, pandemics, natural disasters, they didn't just survive them. They emerged stronger. The evidence was undeniable. The humans had faced extinction-level events multiple times, yet each time they bounced back with exponential growth in technology and adaptation. The Council's non-interference directive. It wasn't about protecting them from us, Taiwan realized with growing unease. Sun-mai expanded the display, showing a detailed timeline of Earth's history. "Look here," she pointed to the period humans called World War I. Their cities were destroyed. Millions died, and yet within years they had split the atom and reached their moon. The data streams showed clear patterns. After each disaster, human advancement didn't just continue, it accelerated. The Black Death led to revolutionary changes in medicine and social structures. The world wars spawned unprecedented technological leaps. Even their natural disasters seemed to make them more resilient. "There's something else," Sun-mai said, pulling up another set of records. "I found references to other species that tried to study humans up close. None of those research missions ever returned." Taiwan moved closer to examine the data. The reports were fragmented, but clear enough to be disturbing. A Centaurian probe that crashed in a place called Roswell had led to massive leaps in human computer technology. A Proxima observation post discovered in Antarctica had somehow given humans insights into quantum mechanics. "They don't just survive contact with advanced technology," Sun-mai explained, her voice trembling slightly. "They absorb it, improve it, and turn it into something new. It's like they're designed to learn from everything they encounter." The historical records painted a frightening picture. Every civilization that had attempted to study humans up close had inadvertently accelerated their development. Even careful observation seemed to risk detection, and detection always led to advancement. "Show me the pattern analysis," Ta-1 requested. Sun Mei pulled up a graph showing human technological development over time. The line wasn't smooth. It jumped dramatically after each crisis or contact event. "The mathematics are clear," she said. "Each setback makes them approximately 30% more likely to make a breakthrough in related fields. It's as if difficulty actively stimulates their development." They examined records of human responses to various challenges. When diseases struck, they didn't just develop cures, they revolutionized medicine. When resources grew scarce, they didn't just conserve, they invented new ways to create what they needed. "Look at this," Sun Mei highlighted a recent event. A global pandemic hit them in 2020. Within months, they had developed new vaccine technologies. Within years, they had completely transformed their medical research capabilities. Taiwan studied the patterns with growing concern. Every major challenge that should have slowed human development had instead accelerated it. Their wars, despite their horror, drove innovation at unprecedented rates. Their disasters sparked solutions that made them stronger than before. "Pull up the extinction event records," he requested. Sun Mei brought up data showing how close humans had come to destroying themselves. Nuclear weapons, climate change, pandemics. They had faced multiple extinction-level threats. Each time they came close to the edge, Sun Mei noted, they not only pulled back, but made incredible leaps forward. It's like the closer they get to destruction, the more powerful they become. The implications were staggering. The Galactic Council's non-interference directive wasn't about protecting humans from advanced civilizations. It was about protecting the galaxy from what humans might become if given access to advanced technology too quickly. "We need to update our security protocols," Ta-1 decided. "If they detect even a hint of our presence," he didn't need to finish the thought. The evidence was clear. Contact with their technology wouldn't hinder humans. It would supercharge their development. As they continued studying the historical records, a new alert came in. Somewhere on Earth, humans had just made another breakthrough in quantum computing. They hadn't even known about quantum mechanics a century ago. Now they were mastering it at a pace that defied explanation. "Keep monitoring," Ta-1 ordered. "But whatever you do, don't let them detect us. We're not hiding to protect them anymore. We're hiding because every glimpse they get of advanced technology brings them closer to reaching the stars." Sun Mei nodded, turning back to her displays. Somewhere below, billions of humans were going about their lives, unaware that their greatest strength was their response to adversity. The galaxy wasn't ready for a species that grew stronger from every setback, but ready or not, humans were coming. In the quantum computation chamber of the Silent Wind, Han Ji-woo stood surrounded by swirling holographic data, his face illuminated by the glow of 1,000 simulations running simultaneously. For 3 days straight, he had been testing and retesting his calculations, hoping he had made a mistake. Han Ji-woo, their quantum systems specialist, ran the simulations hundreds of times. Each result was more alarming than the last. Based on their current trajectory, Ji-woo explained, his hands trembling slightly, they'll achieve full quantum supremacy within decades, not centuries. Their rate of advancement is beyond exponential. It's nearly vertical on our standard development charts. Taiwan watched as the holographic projection showed humanity's technology curve shooting upward, breaking through every known ceiling of civilizational advancement. "Run it again," Taiwan ordered, even though he knew the results wouldn't change. Ji-woo nodded and input the commands. The quantum computers hummed as they processed the vast amounts of data collected from Earth. The simulation showed Earth's history as a glowing timeline in the center of the room. Small points of light marked major technological achievements: the discovery of fire, the invention of writing, the Industrial Revolution. As the timeline approached the present, the points of light grew closer together, merging into a continuous bright line. "Watch what happens here," Ji-woo said, pointing to the moment humans discovered computers. The line of advancement suddenly curved upward sharply. Now look at this. He zoomed in on the last 50 years. The line was almost vertical. How is this possible? One of the junior analysts asked. No species can advance this quickly without outside help. Jai Wu pulled up comparison data from other civilizations. Look at the Arcturians, he said, showing a gentle upward curve. It took them 10,000 years to reach quantum computing. The Centaurians needed 8,000. Humans. He shook his head. They're doing it in less than 300 years. The simulation continued into the future. The line of human advancement didn't just maintain its vertical climb. It began to curve backward, defying the laws of technological development that every other known species followed. Their neural networks are already more efficient than ours, Ji Wu explained, bringing up detailed technical data. They're not just copying existing technology. They're reinventing it, making it work in ways we never considered. Taiwan studied the projections carefully. Show me the failure points, he requested. In normal simulations, species hit natural barriers that slowed their development, resource limitations, physical laws, cognitive boundaries. Jai Wu entered new parameters and red lines appeared across the projection, marking standard development barriers. The human advancement line cut through them as if they weren't there. That's the most alarming part, Ji Wu said softly. They don't seem to acknowledge limitations. When they hit a barrier, they don't slow down. They find ways around it, over it, or through it. The simulation reached further into the future, showing potential developments. Within 50 years, humans would match current galactic technology. Within 100, they would surpass it. Look at their problem-solving methodology, Ji Wu continued, bringing up neural pattern analyses. Other species try to find the right answer. Humans try everything at once, including things that shouldn't work. And somehow, they make impossible things work. The quantum computers processed new data arriving from Earth, somewhere in a lab in what humans called California. Scientists had just made another breakthrough in quantum entanglement. They had achieved something the Silent Wind scientists had thought impossible. They're not just advancing, Ji Wu said, his voice filled with wonder and fear. They're accelerating. Each breakthrough leads to 3 more. Each solution opens new possibilities they immediately explore. The simulation showed humanity spreading into their solar system, then beyond. Their technology didn't develop in a linear or even exponential way. It evolved in all directions at once, following paths that defied prediction. We need to update the council immediately, Taiwan decided. These projections, if they're accurate, we have far less time than anyone thought. Jai Wu nodded, already preparing the data for transmission. There's one more thing, he added, pulling up a final simulation. Based on their current rate of advancement, they'll detect our presence within 5 years, possibly sooner. The implications hung heavy in the air. Once humans became aware of alien observers, their development would accelerate even faster. Every piece of technology they glimpsed would be analyzed, reproduced, and improved upon. They're not just going to join galactic civilization, Ji Wu said quietly. They're going to revolutionize it. Everything we know about technological development, about the limits of advancement, they're going to prove it all wrong. Taiwan looked out at Earth through the observation window. From up here, it looked so peaceful, so ordinary. But down there, billions of minds were working in ways no other species had ever managed, pushing boundaries that weren't supposed to be pushed. Keep running the simulations, he ordered. We need to know exactly how much time we have left. But as he watched the holographic displays continue their calculations, he already knew the answer. They didn't have time. Humanity was coming, and the galaxy would never be the same. In the deepest level of the Silent Wind's archive chamber, Choi Yun-seo sat hunched over ancient data crystals, her eyes burning from hours of staring at encrypted text. For weeks, she had been working to break the complex encryption on these particular files. found buried in the oldest section of the Galactic Council's historical database. The encrypted files were ancient, dating back almost 10,000 Earth years. Choi Yun-seo, their archival specialist, had finally managed to decode them. "The Drachnid Empire," she read aloud, her voice barely a whisper. "They tried to invade Earth during what humans call their Bronze Age. The Empire was never seen again." The record showed something unprecedented. The humans had not only defeated a Type IO civilization, but they had also absorbed and improved upon their technology. What should have destroyed them had instead catalyzed their development. Yun-seo's hands shook as she accessed more of the decoded files. The Drachnid Empire had been one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy's history. They had controlled thousands of star systems, mastered energy manipulation, and possessed technology that could reshape planets. She quickly called for Director Kang. When Ta-1 arrived, she was still uncovering more details about the failed invasion. "Look at this," she said, projecting the ancient text into the air. The Drachnids thought Earth would be an easy conquest. They found a primitive species using bronze tools and living in small cities. They expected no resistance. The records detailed the invasion force, a fleet of world ships, each carrying enough firepower to level continents. The Drachnids had planned to make Earth their new throne world, attracted by its rich resources and strategic location. But something went wrong. Yun-seo continued, scrolling through the text. "The humans, they didn't react like other species. When the Drachnids demonstrated their power by destroying a city, instead of surrendering, the humans." She paused, double-checking the translation. "What did they do?" Ta-1 asked, leaning forward. "They adapted. Within days, they had figured out how to use fallen Drachnid technology. Within weeks, they were turning it against the invaders. The Drachnids had never seen anything like it. The historical records painted a shocking picture. The humans hadn't just fought back. They had learned and evolved at an impossible rate. They studied the alien technology even as they fought against it, understanding and improving upon it in ways that terrified their would-be conquerors." "There's more," Yun-seo said, bringing up another section of text. "The Drachnids tried to use biological weapons, but the humans who survived became resistant, then immune. Their genetic structure actually adapted to counter the attacks." Ta-1 watched as she pulled up detailed analyses from the time. The Drachnid scientists had been baffled by human biology, by their ability to survive and thrive under conditions that should have eliminated them. "The final reports are frightening," Yun-seo said softly. "The humans didn't just drive the Drachnids off Earth. They captured several of their world ships. The Drachnid Empire retreated, but by then it was too late." The next series of records showed how humans had reverse-engineered the captured technology. They hadn't just copied it, they had improved it, found new ways to use it that the Drachnids had never imagined. "The Empire launched one final attack," Yun-seo read, "using their most powerful weapons. But the humans had already adapted their own technology beyond what the Drachnids could understand. The entire attack fleet vanished." Ta-1 studied the ancient text carefully. "And the Empire collapsed within a century. Their own technology, improved by humans, had spread through their conquered worlds. Every species they had dominated rose up using methods and tools they couldn't counter. The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just survived an invasion by one of the most powerful civilizations in galactic history. They had used it to accelerate their development by thousands of years. That's why the Council is so afraid," Yun-seo realized. "That's why we hide. Every interaction with humans risks giving them new technology to adapt and improve." She pulled up current data from Earth, comparing it to the ancient records. The patterns were identical. Humans were still doing what they had done to the Drachnids, taking every new discovery, every challenge, and using it to fuel explosive advancement. "We're not watching their development," Ta-1 said slowly. "We're watching history repeat itself. They're about to do to the entire galaxy what they did to the Drachnid Empire." Yun Seo nodded, still scrolling through the ancient warnings. The question is, can we stay hidden long enough? Or will they find us like they found every other observer? The answer hung unspoken in the air. The humans were coming, just as they had come for the Drachnids. And when they arrived, they wouldn't just join galactic civilization. They would transform it in ways no one was prepared for. Archive these findings, Ta One ordered. Mark them highest priority. The Council needs to know. We're not dealing with just another emerging species. We're dealing with something that has already proven it can reshape the galaxy. As Yun Seo prepared the report, a new alert came from Earth. Somewhere in what humans called South America, archaeologists had just discovered something buried deep in the ground. Something that looked suspiciously like Drachnid technology. The clock was ticking, and this time, hiding might not be enough to stop the inevitable. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with nervous energy as representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered for the emergency session. Holographic projections flickered across the vast space, showing delegates who couldn't attend in person. The massive crystal dome above reflected the light of 3 suns, casting rainbow patterns across the assembled beings. In the emergency meeting with the Galactic Council, Taiwan presented their findings. The quarantine protocol isn't about containing humans, he explained. It's about preventing them from learning from us. Every interaction with advanced technology accelerates their development exponentially. The council members shifted uncomfortably as he continued. We don't hide from humans to protect them. We hide because exposure to us makes them stronger. They are the ultimate adaptive species. The High Counselor, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline form, moved forward. Director Kang, these are serious claims. You're suggesting we change our entire approach to Earth observation. Taiwan activated a holographic display showing Earth's technological progress. Look at this data. Every time humans encounter something new, they don't just learn from it. They transform it. They improve upon it in ways we can't predict. He showed them footage from Earth's recent quantum computing breakthroughs. They achieved in months what took us centuries. And they're not just copying our methods. They're creating entirely new approaches we never considered. A representative from the Centauri systems raised a glowing tentacle. But surely their advancement must have limits. All species reach natural development plateaus. That's just it, Ta One responded, bringing up comparison charts. They don't plateau. When they hit a barrier, they don't slow down. They find new ways around it. Each obstacle makes them stronger. He shared the recently decoded files about the Drachnid Empire. The chamber erupted in murmurs and whispers as the ancient data scrolled across their screens. Many council members had thought the Drachnid Empire was just a legend. We found proof that this has happened before, Ta One continued. The Drachnids tried to conquer Earth when humans were still using bronze weapons. Instead of being conquered, humans adapted the Drachnids' own technology and turned it against them. The High Counselor's crystalline form pulsed with concern. And you believe the same thing could happen to our observation posts? It's already happening. Ta One replied, showing recent sensor data. They're detecting quantum fluctuations from our cloaking technology. They don't know what they're looking at yet, but they're learning. Every day we watch them is another day they get closer to finding us. A delegate from the Rigel system stood up. Then we should withdraw completely. End all observation. It's too late, Ta One said quietly. They're already looking at the stars. They've detected exoplanets. They're building better telescopes, more powerful sensors. Soon they'll find evidence of galactic civilization, no matter what we do. He showed them projections of human development over the next century. The council chamber fell silent as they watched the probability curves shoot upward at impossible angles. The quarantine protocol was created to protect the galaxy from premature contact, Ta One explained. But we never considered what would happen when a species like humanity emerge, one that turns every challenge into an advantage. The High Counselor's voice resonated through the chamber. What do you propose, Director Kang? We need to prepare. Taiwan answered, "Not to stop them. We can't. We need to prepare for what happens when they join galactic society. They won't just join it, they'll transform it." He showed them simulations of possible first contact scenarios. In every simulation, human civilization advanced dramatically after discovering alien life. Their development didn't just accelerate, it exploded. "Look at their response to challenges," he continued. "Wars, disasters, plagues. Each crisis makes them stronger. Each setback fuels new advances. They don't just survive. They thrive on adversity." The chamber erupted in debate. Some council members argued for immediate withdrawal from Earth orbit. Others wanted to increase observation. A few even suggested trying to slow human development somehow. "That would be the worst thing we could do," Taiwan warned. "Any attempt to interfere would only give them more technology to study, more challenges to overcome. They would emerge even stronger." The High Counselor raised its crystalline arms for silence. "Then what is your recommendation, Director?" "We maintain the quarantine, but we change its purpose," Taiwan replied. "We're not hiding to protect them anymore. We're hiding to give ourselves time. Time to prepare for a galaxy where humanity has reached the stars." He showed them final projections, how human influence might spread through galactic civilization. Not through conquest like the Drachnids, but through innovation, through their unique ability to take existing technology and transform it into something new. "They will change everything," he concluded, "not because they want to, but because that's what they do. They adapt, they improve, they transform, and soon, very soon, they'll be ready to leave their world." The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The quarantine protocol had always been about protecting developing species from advanced civilization. Now they realized it had become something else, a desperate attempt to delay the inevitable moment when humanity would step onto the galactic stage. As the emergency session ended, Taiwan looked out at the three suns setting over the council world. Somewhere out there, Earth was turning, its billions of inhabitants pushing boundaries and breaking barriers, unaware that they were about to transform the galaxy forever. The alert came during third shift. Song Minho, their sensor operator, detected the first signs that humans had noticed their presence despite their advanced cloaking technology. "They're already starting to decode our quantum signature," Minho reported, his face pale. "They're not just seeing through our cloak, they're improving it as they study it." Taiwan looked at Earth through the observation window, its blue-white sphere seemingly peaceful yet harboring the most dangerous species in the galaxy. As he prepared to send his final report to the Council, a transmission from Earth's direction reached their sensors. To the observers among the stars, the message began, "We see you. Shall we talk?" The greatest fear of the galaxy had come to pass. Humanity was ready to join the cosmic community, and nothing would ever be the same again. Alarms blared throughout the silent wind as more data poured in. Humans weren't just detecting them. They were already beginning to understand how the cloaking technology worked. Research facilities across Earth were lighting up with activity as scientists studied the quantum anomalies. "Director, look at this," Jinnah called out, her voice tight with tension. "They're not just seeing our cloak, they're seeing everything. Our quantum communications, our gravity drive signatures, even our sensor arrays." The observation team gathered around the main display as data streamed in from Earth. Laboratories in dozens of countries were simultaneously working to understand what they had discovered. True to form, they weren't just observing the alien technology. They were already improving upon it. "They've managed to detect our quantum entanglement network," Minho reported, his hands flying over the controls. They're using it to boost their own quantum computers. How are they doing this so quickly?" Taiwan watched as humanity did what it had always done. Take something new and transform it into something unprecedented. They weren't just copying the alien technology. They were reinventing it, finding applications that had never occurred to the galaxy's finest minds. Another transmission reached their sensors. We know you've been watching us. We've learned so much from studying you. Would you like to see what we've done with your technology? The message was followed by a burst of data. Blueprints for an improved version of the Silent Wind's cloaking system. The humans had taken just hours to not only understand the technology, but enhance it in ways that should have been impossible. Director Jinnah said softly, "What do we do now?" Before Taiwan could answer, more signals began arriving from Earth. Humans weren't waiting for a response. They were already reaching out to the stars, using their improved versions of alien technology to search for other observers, other civilizations. "The Council needs to know immediately," Taiwan ordered. But first, he paused, looking at his crew. They had spent years studying humanity, watching as this remarkable species defied every prediction and broke through every barrier. "First, we answer them." The crew looked at him in surprise. This wasn't protocol. They were supposed to maintain silence, to preserve the quarantine at all costs. But Taiwan understood. The time for hiding was over. "Send this message," he instructed. "Greetings, humanity. Yes, we would very much like to talk." As the message was transmitted, Taiwan watched the streams of data continuing to flow from Earth. Humans were already adapting and improving more alien technology. Their quantum computers were evolving in real time. Their understanding of the universe was expanding exponentially. Director Minho called out, "They're not just improving our technology. They're sharing it. They're releasing their findings to the entire world." Of course they were. That was what made humans unique. They didn't just advance, they brought everyone along with them. Their competitive nature drove them forward, but their cooperative spirit lifted their entire species. The final response from Earth arrived. "We have so many questions, but first, we have so much to show you. Your technology helped us see the stars. Now let us show you what we see." As Taiwan prepared for humanity's first official contact with galactic civilization, he couldn't help but smile. The galaxy had spent centuries hiding from humans, trying to prevent them from advancing too quickly. But in doing so, they had given humanity exactly what it needed: a challenge to overcome, a puzzle to solve, a barrier to break through. The quarantine was over. Humanity had found its way to the stars, just as they always did. And as Taiwan looked down at the blue planet below, he knew that the galaxy would never be the same. But perhaps that had been the point all along. Humanity wasn't just ready to join the cosmic community, they were ready to transform it. And maybe, just maybe, that was exactly what the galaxy needed.